Every single month, before your Social Security money even reaches your local bank branch, the government quietly reaches in and deducts a specific amount of cash. You never see it, you never touch it, but you are absolutely paying it. And right now, there are 4 specific monthly benefits that older Americans are legally owed that can stop that hidden deduction, wipe out your utility bills, and even put a completely separate, second check in your mailbox every 30 days. But here is the catch that costs seniors thousands of dollars a year. The agencies holding this money are legally forbidden from just handing it to you automatically. They know your exact age. They know your fixed income. But by law, they cannot flip the switch until you raise your hand and file the exact right piece of paper. Millions of seniors over the age of 65 are bleeding hundreds of dollars a month paying bills they were legally exempt from years ago, simply because nobody whose job it is to collect that money is ever going to call and tell you to stop. Today, I am going to walk you through 4 specific pots of money sitting there with your name on them, and I need you to stay with me all the way to the 4th one, because that is an entirely separate monthly check that most people wrongly assume is welfare. It is not. It is your money. But before we get to the first form, I have to stop you from making the single most expensive mistake seniors make sitting at their own kitchen table. It is what I call the "I make too much" trap. When people hear about government benefits, they instantly assume it is only for someone else. If you own a modest home that is paid off, you assume you do not qualify. If you live completely on your Social Security check, but a neighbor once told you that you earn $50 too much to get any help, you tune out. You assume the door is closed. Both of those assumptions are completely wrong, and they are exactly how honest, hardworking people talk themselves out of thousands of dollars a year that belongs to them. Here is the reality no one is talking about. At the very end of last year, the annual cost of living adjustments moved the invisible line for who qualifies. The income limits on all of these programs shifted up, and when those numbers move, the line for who is eligible moves right along with them. That means a senior who applied 2 years ago, or even last year, and was told, "No, you make a little too much," could easily be sitting comfortably under the limit today, without changing a single thing about their daily life. That limit is not carved in stone. It climbs almost every year. So that narrow margin that shut the door in your face last year, this year, that same door might be wide open. But the system is built entirely on silence. The government will not call you to tell you the rules changed in your favor. There is no alarm that goes off. There is no letter in the mailbox saying congratulations, you finally qualify. If you do not check again, they simply keep your money and give it to someone who did. I do not care if you are 62 or 89. I do not care if you are absolutely certain you make too much money. Do not disqualify yourself in your own head before the application even does the math. The seniors who get these benefits are not smarter than you. They are just the ones who knew the line moved. And the best place to start asking is with the biggest, quietest bill eating away at your Social Security check right now. Benefit number 1 is your Medicare Part B premium. This is the exact bill I was just talking about, the one that gets quietly siphoned straight out of your Social Security check every single month before the money ever lands in your bank account. Because it happens entirely behind the scenes, a lot of seniors just accept it as a permanent fact of life, or worse, they completely forget they are even paying it. But let us put a real number on it. In 2026, that standard premium is sitting around $185 a month. I want you to run that math in your head. That is over $2,200 a year, pulled quietly out of your fixed income. Gone. Month after month, year after year. But here is the part that almost nobody is ever told. There is a specific set of government programs designed to stop this. They are called Medicare savings programs. If your income falls under the state limit, your state will actually pay that Part B premium for you. They do not just lower it, they pay it entirely, which means those monthly deductions stop, and your regular Social Security check instantly goes up by that exact amount. For millions of older Americans, getting onto this program is the single biggest raise they will receive all year. It does not come from a congressional vote. It does not come from a cost of living adjustment. It comes from a piece of paper that most people never file. And if you qualify for the most generous tier, it goes even further, wiping out most of your medical deductibles and copays on top of it. And this is exactly where the trap I warned you about comes into play. The income limits to get this help are far higher than people assume. Depending on the specific version of the program, a single person could have a monthly income well over $1,800 and still get that premium paid. For a married couple, That line can reach up into the $2,400 range. On top of that, a growing number of states have completely eliminated the asset test. That means they no longer look at your modest savings account or the paid-off house you live in. Your home does not disqualify you. But because folks assume this is only for the deeply impoverished, comfortable retirees glance at it, decide they make too much, and keep handing the government thousands of dollars a year for absolutely no reason. The action to stop this is one single phone call. You need to call your local SHIP office. That stands for State Health Insurance Assistance Program. They are a free, federally funded service, and they exist specifically to screen seniors for this exact benefit. You do not need to be a financial expert. You do not need to memorize government acronyms. You just pick up the phone and say, "I am on Medicare, I am on a fixed income, and I want to see if I qualify for a Medicare savings program to pay my Part B premium." That one call takes maybe 15 minutes, and it is the only bridge between you and keeping your own money. But erasing that premium is only half the battle, because once the premium is paid, you still have to physically walk up to the pharmacy counter. And that brings us to the second massive benefit you are likely missing, which legally forces a hard ceiling on what you can ever be charged for your medicine. Benefit number 2 is the one that actually stops you from going broke at the pharmacy counter. For years, the absolutely cruelest part of the Medicare drug benefit was that it had no real upper limit. If you had a serious illness, if you needed an expensive cancer medication or a specialty drug, you just kept paying. Month after month, year after year, with no finish line in sight. Seniors across the country were rationing pills, splitting tablets in half, or skipping doses entirely just to be able to afford their groceries. That is the nightmare that has finally changed. And yet, almost no one at the pharmacy is going to tap you on the shoulder and explain how to protect yourself. Under recent federal law, there is now a hard, legal ceiling on what you have to pay out of your own pocket for covered prescription drugs under Medicare Part D. In 2026, that cap sits right around $2,100 for the entire year. Here is how that changes your life in plain English. Once the money you physically hand over for your covered medications reaches that $2,100 mark, you are done. The meter stops. For the rest of the calendar year, your plan is legally forced to pick up 100% of the cost of those covered drugs. Not a percentage, all of it. If you hit that cap in May, your medicine is covered all the way through December. It puts a permanent, unbreakable shield around your retirement savings. But it gets better, and this is where you actually have to take action. There is a federal companion program run directly through Social Security called Extra Help. Some people know it by its official bureaucratic name, the Low-Income Subsidy. If your income qualifies, Extra Help aggressively drives down your drug plan premiums, your deductibles, and your copays before you even get close to that ceiling. And here is the secret connection that makes the phone call from the last chapter so incredibly powerful. In a huge number of cases, if you get approved for the Medicare Savings Program to pay your Part B premium, you are automatically enrolled in Extra Help. Two of the biggest, most expensive health cost burdens in the entire system, wiped out or severely capped, all triggered by one single application. But once again, older Americans talk themselves out of it. They assume their small pension or their modest nest egg disqualifies them. Do not make that assumption. The rules for Extra Help have been expanded. The asset limits have been heavily relaxed. Millions of seniors who absolutely qualify right now are paying full price at the pharmacy purely because nobody ever told them the program existed, and they never filled out the simple form, Form SSA 1020. You can file for it online for free, or call Social Security directly. It takes minutes. And it is the difference between living in terror of a new medical diagnosis and knowing your financial bleeding has a hard stop. So, we have handled the invisible deductions draining your check and the medical bills draining your wallet. Now, we need to talk about the physical bills sitting on your kitchen table right now, because the next benefit targets the exact companies that quietly punish you twice a year. Benefit number 3 targets the bills sitting on your kitchen table right now. The ones that quietly punish you twice a year when the seasons change, your utility bills. There is a federal program that runs through your state called LEHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Most seniors have never heard those letters in their entire life. And the few who have immediately assume it could not possibly be for them. They think it is charity. They think it is only for folks who are completely destitute in the dead of a freezing winter. That is a dangerous misconception, and it is costing older Americans a fortune. Depending on your household, your income, and the state you live in, this program can put anywhere from a couple hundred to over $1,000 directly toward your heating and cooling bills. The money is usually paid straight to your local utility company, meaning you never even have to deal with the headache of transferring funds. It just quietly wipes your balance away. But here is the hidden layer that most folks completely miss. When you hear the words energy assistance, you naturally picture December snowstorms and heating oil. But this program covers summer cooling too. For an older American on a fixed income, air conditioning in the brutal heat of July is not a luxury. It is a documented medical and safety necessity, and if your furnace or your AC unit suddenly dies, many states have emergency crisis funds built right into this exact program to help you fix or replace the broken equipment. Now, I have to be completely straight with you about this one, because this is where the urgency really matters. Claiming this does not reduce your Social Security check. It does not count against you as taxable income, but the funding for this program is not unlimited. It is a fixed pot of money. When a state's funding for the year runs dry, the door slams shut until it gets refilled the next year. States hand this money out first come, first served to the households they consider the most vulnerable, and older Americans on fixed incomes are right at the very top of that priority list. But you have to actually be in the line to get it. If you wait until a winter crisis hits, the money might already be gone. To claim it, you do the simplest thing in the world. You pick up your phone and dial 211. In most of the country, that is a free community helpline that will connect you directly to the local energy assistance office in your exact zip code. And while you are setting that up, ask them about the Lifeline program. That is a separate federal benefit that knocks roughly $9 a month off your phone or internet bill. It is a smaller amount, yes, but when you stack all these hidden benefits together, the savings turn into a financial tidal wave. We have successfully lowered the bills going out. Now, we escalate to the ultimate payoff. I am going to show you how to bring entirely new money in, because the fourth benefit on our list is not a discount, it is an actual physical second check. Benefit number 4 is the biggest revelation of this entire video, because this is not a discount. This is not a bill being covered. It is an entirely separate second monthly check. It is called Supplemental Security Income, or SSI for short. And I need you to hold two very different ideas apart in your head right now, because this is exactly where millions of seniors get confused and walk away from their own money. There is your regular Social Security check, the retirement money you earned by working your whole life. And then there is SSI, which is a completely separate federal program for people 65 and older living on a modest income. Here is the trap that costs people thousands of dollars a year. Most folks simply assume that because they already receive a Social Security check, they are legally not allowed to get this second one. That is flat out wrong. If your regular Social Security check is on the smaller side, you can very often receive an SSI check right on top of it to lift your total income up. One check does not automatically cancel out the other. Let us look at the real numbers for 2026. The maximum federal SSI amount for a single person is right around $994 a month. If you already have some Social Security coming in, your SSI is usually reduced by part of that. You might not get the full amount, but a partial SSI check of $200 or $300 every single month is the difference between constantly squeezing pennies and actually being able to breathe. Over a year, that partial check adds up to thousands of dollars you are currently not getting. And here is where seniors talk themselves out of applying. They look at the paid-off house they live in, or the car in their driveway, and they assume they are disqualified. Listen to me carefully. The home you live in does not count against you. Your one vehicle generally does not count against you. This program was built for exactly the person who worked hard, gets a modest check, and quietly comes up a little short. Think of a retired man named Tom. His pension disappeared, and his Social Security check just did not stretch to the end of the month. Tom was certain SSI was just welfare. He thought they would look at his house and laugh him out of the office. He was wrong. A partial SSI check landed right on top of his Social Security. For the first time in years, the math finally worked. To claim this, you apply directly through the Social Security Administration. You can do it online at ssa.gov or call them directly. It is completely free, and you never have to pay anyone a fee to file this for you. But before you pick up the phone to claim any of the 4 benefits we just covered, I need to warn you about what happens next. Because the moment there is money on the table, the scammers start dialing. Every time word gets out that new benefits are available for seniors, a shadow industry wakes up. The phone rings, and a polite voice on the other end says they are calling from Medicare or Social Security. They tell you they can get your premium refunded or your new benefit started today. All they need is to confirm your bank account routing number or your Medicare ID. Stop right there. Hang up the phone. Here is the golden rule you must never forget. The federal government does not call you out of the blue to hand you money. If someone is rushing you, acting overly friendly, and asking for your financial details to release a benefit, you are talking to a thief. You must be the one who initiates the contact. You go to the source yourself. So here is your exact, safe protocol to claim the 4 benefits we just talked about. I want you to write these down. First, for the Medicare Savings Program to pay your Part B premium, and to get extra help for your pharmacy costs, call your local SHIP office. That is the State Health Insurance Assistance Program. Second, for the LEHEAP Energy Assistance to wipe out your heating and cooling bills, do not wait until you are freezing. Dial 211 on your phone right now. It is a free community helpline that will connect you to the local office in your exact zip code. Third, for that secondary supplemental security income check, contact the Social Security Administration directly. You can go to SSA.gov or call their national number at 1-800-772-1213. Do not pay anyone to fill out these forms for you. They are completely free. The system is designed to keep paying only the people who step forward. It will happily let you go your entire retirement, never claiming a single dime of this money if you let it. The only person who is going to make sure you get every dollar with your name on it is you. One final piece of business. This video is meant for general financial education. It is not personal, legal, or tax advice for your specific situation. The exact limits and rules can vary by state and individual income, so always confirm your own numbers directly with the agency or a qualified professional before you act. But do not let fear stop you from making the call. If this video opened your eyes, do one thing for me in return. Share it with one older American you love. A friend, a parent, a neighbor living on a fixed income who is convinced the government does not owe them a thing. They might be sitting on thousands of dollars they have never heard of, and you might be the only reason they finally find it. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and I will see you in the next one.